What's up YouTube, Multi-Apples here bringing another video, and today we will be playing some FIFA 13, streaming on Twitch right now. This will be on YouTube later today or tomorrow. Go to skill games, and we can try free kicks. And just play a little free kick tutorial. I'm not very good at free kicks, so as you can see. Okay, I tried. We're not gonna do this. Create our own custom tournament for fun. Still a group and knockout. Wait. Yeah, group and knockout. That has 64. We're not gonna autofill. Advanced settings will be on. How about the Santiago Bernabeu will be the final. I like Cup 2 the most. You do 8 teams per group, 4 advancing knockout rounds, 2. Add team. Just add 1 from each league. So bear with me. Let's do Cork City for the Republic of Ireland. So the world we can do River Plate. We're gonna do a bunch of Galatasaray. Sorry for showing you any offensive team names and logos, by the way. Rangers. That's from Scotland. Olympiacos, which is a Greek team. And the Orlando Pirates, which are from South Africa. We can do a racing club. Let's do Hajar for Saudi Arabia. And St. Mirren from Scotland. Let's do Malaga and Real Madrid from La Liga. They're gonna have the second, more than likely the second division. I believe Mallorca is an island. Mallorca, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Let's do Cordoba. UD Las Palmas. then we can do Verona. Let's do Hercules as well. Now from Mexico, we can do Cruz Azul. Let's do... Let's do Daegu Citizen. Or Daejeon Citizen. So we already have Ajax in use, so let's do Juventus for Serie A, and for Serie B we can do Brescia. We can do Bolivia as the international team. And then let's do VfL Wolfsburg. And then if we have open spaces, I'll come back and choose other teams as well. Let's do FC St. Pauli. France, we're going to do AS Monaco. We're going to do Nice and Monaco as well from Ligue 1. I guess it's League 2 for Monaco. Let's do SM Kind. Let's go ahead and knock out the Swedish team. Get a team from Sweden. Malmo FF. The best team in Sweden, I think. Do FC Luzern from Switzerland. Don't really watch Swedish football, so if I'm wrong about that, correct me. Let's do the Philadelphia Union from the US, and in Major League Soccer representing Canada, you can have a Canadian team as well. How about Toronto? Wellington Phoenix representing New Zealand in the A-League. And then let's have Sydney FC representing Australia. Chelsea representing the Barclays Premier League in England. For the championship, let's have Cardiff, that's a Welsh team. And an English team as well. How about Peterborough? And then League 1, let's have Brentford. And in League 2, have York City. In Denmark, we can have our house GF. Let's have Sao Paulo representing Brazil. And then Belgium, this team that I don't know how to pronounce. Feyenoord and PSV from the Netherlands as well. From Spain, and I have Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. And Osasuna. Another international team. Or let's actually have Inter Milan from Italy. And AC Milan. Let's have another international team. Let's have Venezuela. Germany, we can have Bayern Munich as well. And Borussia Dortmund. France. So PSG. And get a couple teams from England. Arsenal. How about Manchester United and Manchester City and Liverpool? We only have room for one more team, and I'm going to have it from Austria. So let's have RB Salzburg. No, we can have another team actually, so let's bring the Spurs from Barclays Premier League. How about another Polish team? Let's have Legia Warsaw. And that'll be it. Just make one group really difficult. And Brentford can switch with Arsenal, and then Man United can switch with our house. So Group F will be the group of death. So Milan. No. We're gonna switch Milan. Manchester City can come to our group. Let's switch with Galatasaray. Yeah, the Spurs switch with Cordoba. So Brentford switch with Then Dortmund can come into our group for Rangers. PSG can come into our group for Cork City. And then yeah, that'll be all our groups. So we're playing as Ajax Amsterdam. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Don't know why I'm sweating so much. So you can check out the group standings each week. Or at least after each game. Let me see what the difficulty levels are. Semi-pro, amateur. Let's have it on amateur for now. Just for now. Play a match. First game is against PSG. The only player I know is Daley Blind. At least the only player I've seen play for Ajax. I didn't start watching Ajax until like a few years ago. There we go. We got at least one shot. I recognize Sulejmani from the previous games. And De Jong. I know of Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva. And I think I know Nene. I think that's how I pronounce it. I'm probably wrong about that. Right. Let's get this party started. So far, so good. I believe we missed the goalie, or not the goalie, the player with the ball. So now Champions League, the qualifying for the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League is going on right now. Real Madrid qualified for the league stage, the league phase already for the Champions League, so I'm really happy about that. And then Ajax is the other team I watch, and unfortunately I wasn't able to. Paramount Plus doesn't have the Europa League qualifying games, so I'm unable to watch them in the second round when they beat a Serbian team, Vojvodina, I think is how pronounced the name. And then they're playing Panathinaikos, which is a Greek team. Alderweireld scored a second goal, which is good. Gosh, missing the old Twitter logo, you know. That's one of many things I miss about Twitter before Elon Musk ruined the app. Yeah, I hope Ajax qualifies for the Europa League. Hope they win the Europa League, but last season was not a good season for Ajax. They finished fifth in the Eredivisie. We lost like in the I think the round of 16 or the maybe the round before the quarterfinals of the quarterfinals in the Conference League. There we go. De Jong scored. So I'm going to up the difficulty to semi-pro after this game. It took me a while to get started in the game, but I wanted to create a custom tournament representing at least one team from every league. And if the league had more than one country, like the A League or the MLS, then one team from every country. Because the MLS is in the US and Canada, whereas the A League is the Australian League, and they have teams in Australia and New Zealand, and they're actually getting a second. They're actually getting a second team in New Zealand that's gonna make their debut. Either they made this. They have made their. I'm not sure when the season is starting, but they are actually gonna make it in 2024 or 2025. I'm not sure which. Year they're gonna make their debut in, or exactly when the season starts in Australia, because now the seasons are reversed compared to where they are here in the US. It's summer now in the US, it's winter there. So I'm gonna take out De Jong and we're gonna put in that guy whose name I do not know how to pronounce. Kenneth Vermeer. Who's Dutch, that's pretty cool. So, he's from Iceland. I'm not sure if he was from Iceland or the Faroe Islands. And we can have Vermeer rest for the rest of the game and have Jasper Celestin in, who's Dutch. So that's 2 of our 3 subs used up. And make our last substitution at halftime. I like using up all the subs when I'm playing a game. That's just personal preference. Real Madrid finished first in the league and they won the Champions League as well. So I'm really happy about that. I would have liked to see Ajax in the Champions League, but they didn't qualify for the Champions League last year or this year. So hopefully next season they'll be in the Champions League. Real Madrid will be in the FIFA Club World Cup, which is happening next year. Ajax can't qualify, sadly. But I'm excited to see how Real Madrid does in the FIFA Club World Cup. It's gonna be expanded. I kind of wish they had the Confederations Cup still around, where like the host country plus the champions from each confederation would still play. Because I remember they used to do the Confederations Cup. So it still would have been nice to have that around. Let's pass back for a better shot. And unfortunately, we weren't able to score there. Not entirely a fan of the FIFA Club World Cup expanding. So I know that's going to be a lot of soccer for the players. Even more if they had the Confederations Cup still around, but I think it's good for international soccer to have like a FIFA Club World Cup and the Confederations Club or Confederations Cup. Maybe just like the champions of each confederation plus the home team, and the FIFA Club World Cup, same thing. The club champions and the nation, a team from the host nation, still participating. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna increase the difficulty to semi-pro. Make it a little more challenging for myself. It's currently the 83rd minute. You're up 8-0 against PSG. Only because I'm playing on the easiest difficulty. Wanted to get a little confidence in my first game for myself in my first game before I actually made it a little more difficult. And I just realized we hadn't hit halftime yet. Don't know why. See if we can end the half. That's a nice save. Sean got it, and it's the end of the first half. Ajax actually starts their first game of the Eredivisie campaign Sunday. So let's go ahead and make our final sub of the game. Has Sulejmani come out for Sana. And to at least play everyone in the Ajax squad. And that is a quick goal for us. For Eriksson. Real Madrid starts their La Liga campaign a week from Sunday. Sulejmani got the break he deserved. He gets the rest of the night off. We're up 9-0, so I really don't need to worry about PSG scoring. I'm glad the World Cup is expanding for men's and women's. The men's World Cup is expanding to 48 teams, which I'm happy about, and I'm glad the Oceania is getting an automatic berth to the World Cup. I felt that they should have, like, for every World Cup, you should have at least one team from every region, just for it to be a proper World Cup. For Oceania, more than likely New Zealand is going to qualify for the World Cup every time. Now, I say more than likely because New Zealand is by far the best team in Oceania, and I would used to say prior to 2006, it would be a toss up between Australia and New Zealand, or with I think Australia getting the slight edge. But Australia moved to the Asian Confederation prior to the 2006 World Cup. So now New Zealand is the best team. Now I say New Zealand more than likely, but New Zealand has lost to teams in Oceania. I remember for the 2013 Confederations Cup, because I like to look at results from previous tournaments and previous sporting events, just like the history of a sports league and sports tournament. For the 2013 Confederations Cup, Tahiti actually qualified, and I believe in the finals they actually beat New Zealand. I didn't actually see the game, but I know that Tahiti managed to pull off the upset. So it is possible for New Zealand to actually not qualify for the World Cup via the automatic berth. But it's unlikely. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Because, I wouldn't. Now, that's not to say I don't want New Zealand to qualify for the World Cup, or any country not to qualify for the World Cup. It's just, it'd be cool to see some other teams from Oceania qualify, because right now, just Australia, when they were in Oceania, and New Zealand have qualified for the World Cup. Of course, every team can't qualify for the World Cup, so there has to be winners and losers. So there are several teams I'd like to see qualify for the World Cup. I am a citizen of England, and I'm a British citizen overall, and an American citizen of dual citizenship. So I would like to see the U.S. and England qualify because I was born in England. I was born in London. Although you don't get citizenship automatically if you're being born in the UK. But I think one of your parents has to be a British citizen, and if you're born there, you can be British citizenship, and that happened to me. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm half Dutch, so I'd like to see the Netherlands qualify. And then I'm of Portuguese, French, and Spanish descent, so I'd like to see Portugal, France, and Spain qualify for the World Cup. And then I'm of Trinidadian descent as well, so I'd love to see Trinidad and Tobago qualify from North America. The US automatically qualified, so. But if some or all of the teams qualify, I will usually support England in the World Cup. I know last World Cup in 2022, Morocco shocked everybody by going to the semifinals, which is quite impressive if you ask me. There's always that one shocker where a team you'd expect to do well does well, and then, or a team that you expect to do well doesn't do well, and then, or a team that you expect to do well doesn't even make it to the World Cup, and a team that doesn't do well, you expect it to not do well, does well. Morocco was the team you expect to do you wouldn't expect them to do well in the World Cup. Maybe not horribly, but you wouldn't expect them to finish in fourth place. You wouldn't expect Morocco, and they did, and that was a pleasant surprise for everyone. So it's in terms of sporting events, it's nice to see teams that you don't expect to do well in any tournament, in any league, in any sport. So I remember following the World Cup with my family, and after each game we were like, oh, there's no way Morocco can. They may have drawn this game in the group stage or won this game in the group stage, but it's the round of 16. There's no way Morocco can make it, and then win this game. And lo and behold, Morocco would go to the quarterfinals, and then when they go to the quarterfinals, my family would think, oh, there's no way that they can actually go into the semifinals, and they shocked everyone. And by the time Morocco went to the semifinals, you know, okay, we're starting to think, okay, maybe they can go on, and unfortunately they didn't. Unfortunately for them. By the time the finals came around, I wanted actually France to win because I'm of French descent. Granted, I don't know the language and I don't know too much about France. That's a good goal. I'll admit that. Nearly had a clean sheet though. So I wonder for the 2026 World Cup what shockers we'll see, if any. Because I know in 2022 Italy did not qualify for the World Cup, surprisingly. Let's take a look at the group tables. Actually, in our group, we're in first place by a lot, only because that was on the easiest difficulty. So Manchester City and River Plate lost. In Group B, see, oh wow. So Liverpool's on top as well. You'd expect that. In Group B, Group C, yeah, you'd expect Lim. Okay, I wouldn't expect Olympiacos to actually be on top. I expect Chelsea and Monaco and Juventus on based off of goal differential, and maybe top. I would have expect Tottenham to win their game, but I guess it depends on who they played. Yeah, for Group G, I would have expected this. Group E, so maybe Nice to be a little bit higher. Group F, the group of death, which yeah, you'd expect that. I mean, maybe not. You could really maybe accept for Odd Grenland to be in the top. I expect Osasuna to be seventh. But then again, this game came out 11, 12 years ago, somewhere around there. I just realized I may not have put Bayern Munich, and I may have put a different Bayern team actually in the game. Let's go first. For goals, actually, Suleimani's tied with Rodriguez for the most goals. Oh, I only show the top 25 for assists. Uh, Borger, I probably butchered the pronunciation of his name, has 3 assists. Only 10 players have red cards and will be missing the next game. So for us, we're third alphabetically. I'll be putting. Yeah, I didn't put in. Not that I'm upset that I put in Bayer Leverkusen, but I thought I put in Bayern Munich. Not that there's anything wrong with putting in Bayer Leverkusen. Let's go for the next match against Real Madrid. We can. Oh, or it's actually Borussia Dortmund. Okay. Just to get some of our bench players some playing time, you can have a Young got a yellow. I almost said red. I don't know why I almost said red. Veltman can come in and Sulijmani can come out. Have him. And then Davy Clausen, I know him as well. Okay, central attacking midfielder, so let's have him for Poulsen. And those are the players we're going to have in this game. I probably didn't put in all the bench players that didn't start. I can do that in the next coming for the rest of the tournament. I can have them come in and, start or off the bench as time progresses. I don't know why I thought we were playing Real Madrid, but I thought I did. We're playing Borussia Dortmund. So Leverkusen, I think, won. Didn't Leverkusen win the Bundesliga? I forgot to turn up the difficulty. That's another thing I forgot to do. So we're gonna just stick with this difficulty for this game, and then I know Robert Lewandowski. So I thought Leverkusen. Hey, Sarah James. How you doing? My day's been good. How's your day been? I thought Leverkusen won the Bundesliga. I know Girona nearly won La Liga. That's good, Sarah James. I'm good. Your day's been great. Or at least good. I know Girona finished, I think, in third. Which is pretty impressive that Girona did so well. So I think they were promoted like the season before last season in La Liga. And I bring Girona up because Bayern Munich, wouldn't expect we scored there. What work, Sarah James? So Babo scored. So I bring up Girona because Girona you wouldn't expect to do so well. And I think it was Leverkusen that won the Bundesliga. And because I bring up Leverkusen, I don't think you may have expected to do well because Bayern Munich had won like the past 10 or 12 seasons in a row, something like that. So that's another goal for Babel in the 10th minute. So they crowned a new Bundesliga champion for the first time in over a decade because the same team had been winning for the past roughly 10 to 12 years. Don't remember exactly how long, but it was a long time. Not yet, but I will, Sarah. Let's see. I score? I hope I can. Okay, I will. I don't really need anything to be created for me right now. So, if that's what you're asking about. Gosh, where's my train of thought going? Yeah. Oh yeah, European football. Shown scored. European football, yeah. So Hirona qualified for the league phase of the Champions League. It's their first time in European football, I believe. Wonder what teams, if any, will qualify for the World Cup in 2026 for the first time. Because I know we're in August 2024. Uh, Qualification for the World Cup actually resumes next month in September. Don't remember. I believe I want to say either Asia or Africa or both. And I think Oceania will also begin their qualifying next month for the World Cup. It's going to be held in the Canada. It's going to be held in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. The U.S., Canada, and Mexico have qualified for the World Cup. For the I don't know why I nearly said for the very first time, but that's not true because Canada's qualified. All three teams have qualified for previous World Cups. In fact, the U.S. finished third in the first World Cup. It's our best finish. Yeah, soccer or football, as it's known for the majority of for most of the world, is not the most popular sport here in the U.S. I like watching soccer. It's one of my favorite sports to watch, but let's see, squad. Let's have Sana come out for Lukoki, and Serrero can come in for Shone. And we will actually have one last sub. Let's have Denzel come in for Alderweireld. And that'll be our last substitution. Use all three substitutions pretty early. Alright, all three subs should be coming in. Well, Ajax has a new away kit for this year. Don't remember it off the top of my head, but excited to see it. Their standard red and white home kit, as usual, they'll have. I don't think they should actually ever do away with that. Guerrero scored. Is it 3:54 already? Wow. It is late. So yeah, first thing I'm going to do is actually change the difficulty. Make it a little more challenging for myself. Thankfully that wasn't a foul, let alone worthy of a card, that slide tackle. So able to watch SummerSlam actually this past Saturday. It was good. I think I mentioned that in my not my NHF 24 stream on Twitch yesterday that I did yesterday. It's gonna be premiering later today on YouTube. But I may have mentioned in my MLB the show 24 stream that I streamed on Twitch on Monday and uploaded yesterday. But I'm glad Gunther's the new World Heavyweight Champion. Braun Breaker won the Intercontinental Championship for the first time. He defeated Sami Zayn. There's ironically, another connection to Gunther. Sami Zayn ended Gunther's longest reigning Intercontinental Championship streak. Or reign. Not streak. Gunther's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion at all time. Now he's a world champion in WWE. Sami Zayn's a former world champion in WWE. Same as Braun Breaker. They're both. Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker are actually former NXT champions. Although the current NXT champion is Ethan Page. Was not expecting him to come to WWE, let alone win any titles, but I'm glad he did. I'm sure Sami Zayn should, at some point, in my opinion, I can easily see him becoming a future world champion on the main roster. Same with Braun Breaker. Actually, Carmelo Hayes is a former NXT world champion, and I can see him winning a world championship in WWE on the main roster as well. Tiffany Strand nearly cashed in at SummerSlam, but she was not successful. Former NXT Women's Champion in her own right. Actually, the Bloodline are now the World Tag Team Champion. I was getting confused. I think they're the World Tag Team Champions. I know there's Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. Actually, Tongaloa and Tama Tonga are tag team champions. I'm not sure if it's the WWE or World Tag Team Champions that they hold, but they won it on the SmackDown before SummerSlam. Roman Reigns made a shocking return at SummerSlam. He helped Cody Rhodes retain the Universal and WWE Championships. So spoiler, I've been giving out spoilers, so sorry You haven't seen it yet, but I enjoyed SummerSlam. I've only been to one wrestling pay per view, and that was actually All In last year. And that was in Wembley Stadium. Love to move back to England though. I lived there for 3 months last year, and I decided to withdraw from the program. I was studying to become a teacher, but I decided that teaching wasn't the right career path for me. But I'd like to move back to England though. So offsides though. Perisic is coming out. I don't know how to pronounce the player that's replacing him. The name of the player that's replacing him, but you know, I've never scored with the goalie on FIFA, but I'd like to. Not sure how to, but we've had possession only 49% of the time. And yet we're winning 8-0. We're out of substitutions, right? Yeah, we have no more substitutions. Let's resume the match. The next WWE pay-per-view is actually Bash in Berlin, which I won't be attending in person, but I'd still like to look at it live at the end of the month. I'm actually gonna have a SmackDown in Germany. It'll be the first SmackDown ever aired in Germany, ever held in Germany, I should say. It's sure they've shown SmackDown on TV in Germany, but they've never actually had a SmackDown. I know they've had a Monday Night Raw in Germany, but never SmackDown. I'd love for WWE to have, and AEW, to have more international shows, more shows airing from overseas. Because usually for WWE, they've had only one episode air in Italy or air live from Italy, and then they've had shows air live from only one episode of Raw, I should say, that was ever aired from Italy. No pay-per-views or any other televised event. They've had Raw air from Germany, Italy, and every year they usually hold it somewhere in the UK, usually in England. And then they've had shows in Iraq and Afghanistan, but I'm pretty sure those were at U.S. military bases. And they've actually had an episode of Raw air in 1997 in South Africa. But I'd love to see them have more televised shows overseas in Europe, Asia, South America, and South Africa. I don't think they've ever had a televised show from South Africa. I was offsides there. I'm not South Africa, South America. If I said South Africa, I meant South America. So now I've know they've had a pay-per-view in Japan, an NXT pay-per-view in Japan, and not an NXT pay-per-view, but they've had like an NXT Network special, or a WWE pay-per-view, or WWE Network special in Japan. That was Beast in the East. They've had 2 pay-per-views in Australia. Super Showdown 2018. I've actually I remember watching that on the network. And then the Elimination Chamber earlier this year. I stayed up till like 5 in the morning to watch that live. So that was fun to see. And then they've had a SmackDown in. Yeah, let me quickly change the difficulty before I forget. They've had a SmackDown in Scotland actually. Earlier this year. Not sure if that was the first ever SmackDown, but they had a pay-per-view in Scotland as well. And they've actually had an NXT episode air from Australia. See, Anderson, Fisher, Basilio, Van Ryn, probably butchered his name, Dykes, and Boyleson have not played. Hopefully I can remember their names. I'll look at the group tables after the next match. So yeah, they've had one SmackDown air from France as well. And Ryan can actually come in for Moisander. Ice can come in for Daily Blint. Have Fisher. And De Jong. Bolson can be the next guy. Bolson is a back. Or yeah, we'll put him in. We'll put him in for Suleimani. Oh. Just put in. Right there, let's put in Copers. I'm pretty sure he's played, so the only one we're missing is Bolson. So he can come in for Vanderveel. And now we would have had everyone play. So we're playing CD Nacional. So yeah, no, WWE's had a pay-per-view in France. Because I remember watching Backlash France. They've actually had 2 pay-per-views in Puerto Rico. I did not watch either of them live because I was not a fan. The first one was New Year's Revolution, but I remember watching that on the network before it merged with Peacock. I didn't watch it live, and I didn't see Backlash 2023 either. Still have yet to see that. But I want to see Backlash 2023. I know it's a good crowd there. And the rest of their shows you have usually had the rest of Raw and SmackDown and NXT. NXT usually now tends to air from Orlando, Florida. That hasn't always been the case. But Raw and SmackDown usually tend to air from Canada and the US. They'll have a couple of episodes every year in Canada. And they'll have maybe 1 or 2 episodes every year in the UK, mainly in England. They actually had a Raw in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, the capital of Canada, last month. It was after Money in the Bank. Because Money in the Bank was in Toronto. I remember watching Money in the Bank live and Raw as well. That was a waste of a cash-in to have Drew McIntyre win and cash in only for him to lose. That's one thing. I think if you're gonna have someone win Money in the Bank, I think they should usually win it. It should be given to a person that hasn't won it before, like won a world title before, and they should successfully cash in. Now, I can understand the Royal Rumble as a vehicle and being used to further a story, and for someone, maybe the Royal Rumble winner not winning at WrestleMania. But I feel like if you're gonna win Money in the Bank, you should really have them successfully cash in. I felt it could have gone to someone who hadn't, who maybe it could have been used to tell a new story. Maybe like Carmelo Hayes as Mr. Money in the Bank. You look up who else was in the match as well. Or at least if you're gonna have Drew McIntyre win, have him successfully cash in, and then maybe have him have CM Punk cost him the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, and against Gunther. That's just my opinion. Excuse me for yawning. So Dynamite, AEW was actually in my hometown, or in my home state. They weren't actually in my hometown. Uh, but I was in Italy when they came, so I wanted to go, but I didn't bother buying tickets because we had I went on vacation with my family, and we already scheduled vacation, so I didn't thought, you know what, I'm not gonna buy tickets. Now I've been to so far to AEW's only show outside of North America. All in. I know they're gonna have Dynamite. So I want to say sometime this month in Cardiff, Wales, which will be your first Dynamite from outside of North America, and it'll be their. They'll have All In from Wembley Stadium again. So I'm hoping Bryan Danielson will win the AEW World Championship. I would love for Daniel Garcia to actually go to NXT. I'd love for eventually Keith Lee in AEW. He's a former WWE guy. I'd love for him to challenge and have a run as AEW World Champion. Will Ospreay's another guy I can see with the world champion as a world champion in WWE. Actually, Orange Cassidy as well. Excuse me for coughing. Those three guys I think are future world champions, and I'd have maybe Bryan Danielson win the world championship from Swerve Strickland at All In. And then I would actually have him eventually lose it to Keith Lee. And then out of Keith Lee eventually lose it to Orange Cassidy, as we allow a goal there. Shockingly. I kind of wish the Hardys had become AEW Tag Team Champions, though, before their contracts expired. One last tag title run. But they can still become Tag Team Champions in TNA. Hopefully they can become World Tag Team Champions in TNA. I'd like to see Ash by Elegance as the next TNA Knockouts champion. And I can't believe we scored there, or they scored there. So we're going to have to bring in a new goalie. Let's have Copers come in as well. For Boylison. Oh yeah, for those of you that watch wrestling, who are your favorite wrestlers, and who do you see as world champion like AEW, Ring of Honor, NWA, whatever promotion you watch, whether it be TNA or WWE or any other promotion that I didn't mention? Oh come on! We nearly had the goal there. This could be our first loss of the tournament, and I really don't want to lose. Shoot, we nearly had it there. That's going to be a foul, unfortunately. Giving up. Let me get some drinks really quick to drink after this game. I really need to focus because we're down by one, and I don't want to draw and I don't want to lose. I know the top 4 teams advance, and I really can't afford a loss. Granted, we did win our first 2 games by a lot, but not checked the group standings after this game, so we should have had it there. Should have had the shot there. I make my final substitution, not yet, so let's have Fisher come out for the Icelandic player whose name I can never pronounce. I know WWE is supposed to launch NXT Europe, at least they said they would, because they canceled NXT UK. And they're going to relaunch / rebrand it as NXT Europe. So I would really love to see that launch and have them tour all across Europe. Maybe when Raw or SmackDown goes to Europe, they can have the NXT Europe wrestlers appear on Raw or SmackDown as well. And wrestle main roster superstars as well. So we have a substitution coming on. Ah, shoot, we couldn't get that. Hopefully it'll make professional wrestling and WWE popular in places where it usually isn't popular, or where it really hasn't been popular, and help bring not only more content, but, you know, 'cause I know it's grown in popularity in the UK. But hopefully in other countries in Europe as well. Come on! We're nearly making the shots. Let me mute my mic really quick and turn on my face cam.
Well, he'll want to do that with a bit more determination next time. He looked very worried. Well, often the percentages work in favour. If you have more shots, you're supposed to score more goals. But look at this today.
Yeah, but when you do look at their shots, Martin, they've shot from unlikely angles at times and distances when they might have just kept possession.
And he lets fly here. It's not the best game that he's ever played, but that might be just one of his best ever saves.
Well, he'll be hoping that he's turned the corner in this match, because he's been woeful today so far.
Keeps it going well. Here's a shot now. What a chance to be level in the match.
Well, it was, and it's a chance squandered. It's a poor miss from him.
And now a look at the possession to this point. Da Costa. Oh, this is great teamwork, the way they're knocking the ball around, and they're up quickly. Plenty of attacking players in this move. Well, the way the referee saw it might not be the way that we saw it, but we'll wait and see. This is a key moment for the manager. He knows he's got the lead, and he's now going to do his best to try and retain that. Toby Alderweireld. Kolben. The attack now from Ajax. Well, he's getting a pat on the back for that, because that was brilliant defending in a difficult situation. Excellent passing here. He stopped the opposition, gets the ball out of harm's way. Put him in here. Well, these are key final minutes. 8 to go. So dangerous. Running, what a hit. Goalkeeper might be needed again. Can they draw level here with 5 minutes left? Good covering, great covering. Otherwise, they'd have been in a goal. Now they've got the ball. The counter-attack could be on. Here they come. And here's the shot. It's Poulsen. Manuel da Costa. That's cut out. Well, that's a fantastic clearance. He rose to the occasion and saved the day. Quick ball. Good, clean tackle. Clock running down as they try to... Takes the shot off! Well, that's tough for the player himself and his teammates, because it could have made all the difference.
Well, it would have been so decisive, that, no doubt about it.
Manuel da Costa. And we're looking at the referee, and there goes the final whistle. And the match is finished here, 2-1.